I have no desire to work for a living, and the thought of working gives me crippling anxiety for the amount of precious hours of my life that will be wasted. Hello. Please, be very welcome to this first episode of Reddit Advice. In today's episode, we'll be reviewing the cases of 3 Redditors who are struggling, like many of us, to find what the best way to live is, that is perhaps the only life we have left. We start with a friend that just wants to know how to fulfill that essential part of our life that it's working. Let's listen to him and some of the best advice he got from the community. I have no desire to work for a living, and the thought of working gives me crippling anxiety for the amount of precious hours of my life that will be wasted. I got fired from my second job just before the coronavirus pandemic, and have been unemployed since then. Being unemployed has been the happiest months of my life. I spent so much time with friends and my girlfriend, and I've picked up so many fulfilling and educational hobbies, including reading, playing guitar, hiking, canning, meditation and gardening, and so on. But I was just offered a job and now am drawing in crippling anxiety because my happy fulfilling lifestyle is coming to an abrupt end.
As a sign in Jimmy John's eloquently put it, do what you need to do now so you can do what you want to do later. Do what you want to do now and you'll have to do what you need to do later. Food doesn't grow itself. Minerals don't mine themselves. Clothing and cars don't manufacture themselves. Work is an essential part of life. Its toxicity comes when we stop working to earn our essentials and start working because we are fulfilling someone else's expectations. The trick, which I haven't mastered myself, is to find the work that suits you. To do that, you sometimes have to leave the beaten path. Find a way to be self-employed or find a job that naturally coexists with your way of life. I knew a guy that would work off and on as a contractor in the US, using the money he earned for extended vacations at low-cost destinations. No house, just a rented place during his work season.
I understand you. I mean, I do want to work to support my life and the one of those whom I love, but no just any job. I want a job that doesn't feel like a job, not an easy job, but a job that I love to wake up every day, first hour in the morning. Just like Christ Rock says in one of his jokes, a job that doesn't make you play the clock game a project. On the other hand, remember in what type of society we live, working a regular job isn't the only way to obtain well-deserved money. Perhaps you won't outsmart the system and get rich, but if you see what this world is beckoning to, you can take advantage of this and make a business of it, of course always into something you like. Lastly, maintain your feet in the ground, but never be afraid of dreaming high. Doesn't matter if in the end you don't archive all of your dreams, the important part is looking for dreams and goals to keep moving on. In the end we are still mammals, and not having a purpose and us.
People who don't work are often labeled as lazy, to say the least. We see them, or hear about, how we work a 9-to-5 job while they get to play around, but maybe not all the cases are the same. Perhaps they are suffering just like us. Or perhaps those of us that get the opportunity to choose what to do in life have our fights. But maybe I'm just a lazy guy who has been lucky in life. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments. Second case comes from a Redditor who needs to know where she should stand his ground. Being part of the LGBTQ+ community, this could prove a real challenge nowadays.
Is someone being homophobic a valid reason to not talk to them? As a lesbian, I have heard something along the lines of I don't agree with or support gay people, but I'll still consider you as a friend more than once. When I hear that, I don't know what to think. What happens when I get a girlfriend? Does their view of me change because I'm gay? In the past, I brushed this statement off and was like, okay, whatever, I have my opinion and you have yours, but the relationships never ended well. These people always ended up being very judgmental and toxic. Now, for future reference, I don't know if it's a valid reason to cut someone off because they don't agree with the gay lifestyle. It's a matter of differing opinions, where one happens to be trash, and I want to know what to do when it happens again. I am bi. I ditched my long-term BFF because she was saying homophobic things to me. I consider myself better off and put time and effort into relationships that are healthy for me to be around. As James Baldwin said, we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist. It's perfectly reasonable to choose who you're friends with and to not be friends with anyone who tells you either. I don't like X about you, but I'll still consider you as a friend. I generally don't support anybody who is X, and you are X. The specific issue X here doesn't really matter. I already don't have time to spend with all my true and valued friends, so I wouldn't bother investing any with someone who doesn't like me. If you're really hurting for friends and have to make do with what you can get, that's a different problem.
How would you feel if your best friend says that she or he will continue to be your friend, even if he doesn't agree with your preferences? Perhaps for those friends it's not only a matter of willingness, but a part of their lives they will need time to change. Would you wait for them, or maybe you are one of the opinion that people don't changes? Lastly, for this episode, we have a case that I will ask for a total support of you friends. Depression has a lot of faces, and can be different to all of us. And even this being case, looking for advice and support will be always the best thing. What's your best advice for someone going through a depression now?
The people who can sympathize with you, who listen, who can honestly tell you that what you're going through is hard and sucks, those are the people you should have around you. Being told to be happy, that you should be happy, that you should feel bad for going through a hard time, that's exactly what you don't need right now. Don't beat yourself up about it, and don't let other people shame you for it either. What you're feeling is legitimate, you have worth, you deserve to be believed and listened to. It's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to ask for help and to have someone hold your hand when you need it. The sooner you can do that and acknowledge what you're feeling, the sooner you recover.
Don't dwell about past or future. Focus on the present moment, it's all you'll ever have. Think about if there's anything you can do today, however minor, to improve your life. You can your future one day at a time. There's no rush. Know that life is too precious to give up on. You only get one, and no matter how hard it seems, sometimes you can get past it. You are stronger than that negative emotion and will be a better person for getting through it. As hard as it seems, sometimes I find that the best thing to do is simply talking to someone close to you. Someone who cares for you will always listen and accept you. If it ever gets really bad, truly dark, do not bottle those feelings up. That will only make things worse. Opening up to a therapist or a doctor is scary, but could be the best thing for someone with serious depression issues. Chin up, stay strong, and remember that there is so much to appreciate in your life and you will get through this negativity.
You always remember that you are not alone, even in those times when you think you have no one to talk to, be it because of your situation, or because you feel nobody will really understand. Please remember. Internet, it's a big community, and even if we are far away from you, we can become the ones that gives you a push into a happy life. We thank you for all of you that keep listening until the end. I hope this channel to be of your liking. If that's the case, please consider subscribing to see more content that I promise will create as soon as I can. Hope you all a great day. See you next episode.